Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Away We Go. This is Dan
and Lena.
and we are so excited to talk to you back live here from the studio of CLC. We have both recently come from different international trips and we can't wait to talk to you about it, so please stay tuned. So welcome back. So Lena, first of all, welcome back from Germany.
Thank you, and welcome back from Peru.
Thank you very much. So we recently, within the last few days, had the experience of going. You had to go home for certain reasons, and I had some stuff to do down in the south. And so the question is it difficult, or well, we know it's not impossible, but is it difficult right now to travel international?
Well, kind of it is. Like, you need a COVID test and all those regulations, and are you allowed to enter the country? So it makes it more difficult, I think. What do you think?
Can you go to? Well, what I think the same. There are a lot more steps that you have to do. There is more consideration and a lot more planning to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think, or can we go to every country?
No. Like,
Not yet.
Not yet. Like, some Germans are not allowed to enter the U.S. Like, when I tried to check in, they had to really check and had so many questions until they said, yeah, you can travel. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So,
Because you have a special visa to be here in the United States, and it's not the regular 90-day waiver that citizens from the Europe can travel. But one thing that I was shocked was the number of people at the airport.
yes. Like, when I traveled back to Germany and got there, the airport in Germany was empty. When I traveled back 3 weeks later, it was full. Like, I was like, where are they all coming from?
Yeah.
And in Atlanta, I thought it was like pre-COVID times. I don't know, what did you think?
Well, yeah, I actually went through Atlanta too, which, by the way, is the busiest airport in the world. And it looked like the busiest airport in the world. It was so packed. The little train that takes you from terminal to terminal was full. But it's not like that everywhere else. Tell me about once you got into Germany.
Into Germany, like, the airport, it was empty when I got there, but also everything was shut down, because right when I came, like 2 or 3 days later, everything closed down because they made the new lockdown regulations and everything. So everything was closed. No restaurants were open, only pickup and delivery, and like, we couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But this was good. I could visit my family, and like, safety measures, because they're even strict, like, in private settings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So even from a household?
Yes. Only one person is allowed to visit the household.
Oh, wow, even to
Yeah.
that extent. Oh my goodness, that's
And
incredible.
like, to go get your hair done, you need a negative COVID test and everything, even if you're vaccinated or not.
So wait, you were out there for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How many COVID tests did you take?
More than a handful?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like those
Wow.
rapid tests, but yeah.
Well, the world has certainly changed. When I arrived to Peru, here in the U.S. it was easy. You only had to wear a mask. But once you got to Peru, you were forced to wear not one, but 2 masks, double mask, and a face shield on top of that, which I could hardly breathe.
That's
I understand, and I don't mind to comply with the regulations, but it was a lot more strict than in the U.S. So if somebody's planning on going there, or you're considering vacation, consider well the location. First of all, make sure that it's open.
Yeah.
And what else should they consider?
Well, what mask do you need? In Germany, you can only wear medical mask or an N95 mask.
Really?
Yeah.
So a cloth mask won't do it.
No, it doesn't.
So, if you're planning a trip to Germany, don't bring your cloth mask. Make sure you get the specific one. Wow, that's incredible. So, in the U.S., things seem to be opening up more, but that's not the case everywhere else.
No.
How is it in Europe?
Well, I heard that they're trying to open, like, I know Greece is going to open for tourism, but you have to be, I think, vaccinated
Okay.
or something, or at least a negative COVID test. So yeah, they're slowly opening.
Yeah.
But I don't know about Germany, what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, one thing that going is one thing, but coming back to the United States is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And I had to go in Peru and get a COVID test. They did the rapid, which
Yeah.
was the nasal, and yeah, that was an experience within itself. But I was tested negative, of course, and I was able to get in. But they did ask for it at least 3 or 4 times before I could get on the plane.
Yes, like after I landed in Atlanta, you could not leave the plane without having your negative COVID test and your passport, and they checked it. You were not let into the building if you didn't show it.
Yeah, and I was paying attention to what they were doing. They were looking
Yeah.
at the date, they were looking at the name, and then they were looking at the result of the
Yeah.
test, of course. Yeah. When I went to Peru, I had to get a negative test, and CVS Pharmacy was kind enough to help me, and I went there and got the test, and within 30 minutes, they gave me my results, and I was able to carry it with me. And when I got to Peru, also, they were checking your temperature, and they wanted to see that COVID test.
Yeah,
So the world has changed,
it definitely has.
but it's not impossible to travel.
It's not. You just have to like look what do you have to do, like what extra steps you have to take.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like I would travel again.
Yeah, as soon as other countries will open up. But also in the city of Lima and Tarapoto, Yurima was the area where I was in the northern part of Lima. The government was putting lockdowns, and there was a curfew every night from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. People were not allowed to be on the streets unless for work reasons or emergencies, and everything closed down.
Germany too. We had one from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So they're checking on that, and you better have a good explanation.
Yes. You better.
Yeah. Wow. And but anyway, was the trip good?
Yes. I could see my family like under safety measures and everything, but I could see them. Yeah.
Wow. What was the
Awesome.
best thing while you were out there?
Just to see my family and eat German food.
German food.
Yes.
That's amazing. Wow. Do you think pretty soon Germany will open up for tourism as well?
Honestly, I don't think so. But maybe they may change their mind.
Well, I
don't
heard France is getting ready to, and as long as you have a negative test and maybe a vaccine. Now, in Peru, they did stated that you had to be quarantined as soon as you got there. But once I got there and I talked to immigration, they really weren't saying it. If I proved to them that my COVID test was within 72 hours, they waived that quarantine. So I was
That's
able
nice.
to get a waive. And I did have to tell them where I would be if I had to be quarantined. So
Okay.
you do have to provide an address to where you were going, and I had my address and I gave it to them, and they put it on the computer, and that was it. That was it.
So what was your favorite part of your trip?
Favorite part of Peru? Well, was going back and seeing my friends and seeing all the people that I know over there. That's the best thing. You know, I love traveling and just being able to go back, because when the pandemic happened, I wasn't sure if I would ever be able to go back to the part of the world, and to be able to be there and to say hi to them, and that was awesome. Of course, the food.
The food.
Yeah.
So what did you like? What was the most interesting thing you ate?
The most interesting, oh my goodness, probably some fruit that I had never seen before. I was riding the Amazon, and there were some fruits with some flavors that were like, wow, I've never had that flavor before.
Okay.
Like my mouth was like, hey, this is something new, not registered before. So that was pretty good. Ceviche is pretty good, highly recommended, and I ate a lot of chicken. Well, because it was a short trip, I didn't want to be too adventurous, and I didn't want to take the chance to get sick while I was there.
Yeah.
So I did try to stick with some of the stuff that my stomach can handle pretty well, which is chicken.
But you traveled to Mexico before, right?
I did, yes.
So how different was traveling to Peru than Mexico?
Well, I think Peru was more stricter than Mexico. Mexico was actually quite easy to get in and out. In Mexico, I think that's something that is funny. And if you are going, you pay attention to that. They put a little container with alcohol on the floor, and you're supposed to step on it, and then step out, and then wipe off the alcohol so you don't carry alcohol everywhere. But they do that as a COVID measure, which I have not seen at all. Well, here in Ohio, I don't know if they do it in other places in the U.S., but that was something new. So you literally have to get your feet, your shoes wet in case the shoes are carrying the virus. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. In Germany it wasn't.
They didn't know that.
No.
Yeah. And now they check your temperature. So Mexico had better technology. They didn't have to put the. They have cameras, and actually the hallway where all the passengers are coming through has X-rays, and they are checking your temperature as you're going in. Most people, I don't think, don't even know that they're seeing you. But if you are over, the temperature, they say, "Sir, come with us," And
Really?
Yeah. And in Peru, they were checking it. So when did they go to you? Where did they put the thing to check the temperature?
They didn't check my temperature.
They did not check your
They
temperature.
did not. No, not that I
Maybe they
know
have.
of.
Maybe they have those electronic things.
Maybe
already.
that's possible, but they
Well, you know how in the airport in Frankfurt where you were, have those little doors, those little sections as you're walking through, and you walk in, and the door behind you closes, and then the other little one
they were
opens
open.
up. They were open.
They were open. Probably because of COVID.
Oh my goodness! I was thinking like they were checking like your weight and your temperature and everything else.
No, they were open.
Wow.
You just walked through them.
You just walked through.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, over here they did check it, and it was funny because sometimes they check your temperature here, sometimes in your head, sometimes in your neck. So anyway, you just got to get used to that and just comply.
Yeah.
Just comply. There are some people that want to give a hard time, and they're like, "I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not doing that." And then there's others that go all the way. Like on my flight back on Sunday from Lima to Atlanta, this gentleman showed up on a whole suit from head to toe, all
Really?
white, and the whole face, like one of those honey collectors that work with the bees, and they're covered from head to toe. He was covered in one of those. He was not gonna get corona at all.
No.
Did you see any extremes like that?
No, I did not. But when I flew back from Atlanta to here, the airline said, "Well, we asked you twice, nice flight, and if you do not comply, you're gonna get a card and you get on the do not fly list with the airline, and they report you to some agency." I was like, "What?"
Oh my goodness! They give you like
Yes.
a red card,
Yeah,
like you're
a
expelled
red
from
card.
the airline. That's funny. I like that. We're gonna tell you nice twice, but the third time we're opening the window and we're letting you land faster.
Yes. And I was
Wow.
like, they didn't say that on any of my other flights that I had.
Yeah. Well, those international flights are different. I did some flying inside Peru, some domestic flights from Lima to Tarapoto, and then in Tarapoto, I did some smaller flights. But even in the smaller flights, they wanted that face shield. And I had to wear the face shield. I was thankful that the airline I was flying with, South, they gave me one for free because I didn't carry one.
Yeah.
And I carried that face shield with me the whole time. And then once I got on the plane back to the U.S., they didn't require it, so I didn't have to wear it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, different things that you have to do and to consider. People are nervous. People are scared. But little by little, I mean, we just learn to comply, and always be careful. Always, wear that mask. Make sure you cover your nose and face, and you follow the rules so that you can be fully protected.
Yeah.
What do you think? What else do you think they should do?
Should do. When I was at Atlanta, many people were on the phone and then they took their mask off.
To be on the phone.
Yes. I'm like, you're not eating or drinking, so how about putting your mask on? Just consider the people around you.
Well, to be considerate.
If you don't want to do it for yourself, but do it for the other people around you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about this pandemic. We have to consider other people. This is not just us. So.
No.
Yeah. Wow. So, but yeah, seems like things are beginning to open it up, and seems like a lot more of Americans are going to be traveling. It's coming up. Vacation time is coming up.
Yes.
And here in the show, we will be showing locations, and we'll be showing other stuff more regularly. But we just wanted to give you some update on what it is like to be traveling international right now. So we can tell you, at least from experience from Europe and from South America. So anyway, I hope this information can help you. Make sure you follow us on social media, and follow us, like us on Instagram. Go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, and press that like button on Facebook. So, Lena, anything else you'd like to add?
No.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on another episode of Away We Go. We're looking forward to seeing you again in the next week for a new episode and a new destination. Have a great day.